Inside Outside the Beltway started its second season here in Washington. To celebrate the event, Dennis Brooks, the show's executive producer, held a premiere party at the Hung Jury, where he previewed some of the upcoming shows.
Welcome. Thank you all for showing up tonight to our gala premiere of Inside Outside the Beltway. Yeah! We have come to tag it as the soap opera with a lavender twist. And indeed, it is looking at life with lavender-colored glasses on. We're thrilled that we're starting our second season. Perhaps some of you saw it our first season. If not, you'll have the opportunity to preview tonight. We are proud that we have already won 2 awards. One for the... Yes? So much for spontaneity. I do have my notes here. I knew this spontaneous stuff could only last for about 1 minute. We won the Best Director of an Entertainment Series and the Best Entertainment Series, the local Tony Awards last year.
So Dennis, you're coming up on your 3rd year as director, executive producer, and all that good stuff for Inside Outside the Beltway. How's it feel?
Exhausting. Exciting, exhilarating. I couldn't believe it that we've been on the air now for 2 years. We're going into our 2nd season, and we're soon to start our 3rd.
Now, you indicated during this gala premiere of the 3rd season that you guys are just about to break out of the D.C. metropolitan area or outside the Beltway. Let's talk a little bit about that.
We've been actively pursuing other markets in other cities, such cities as St. Louis, San Diego, Miami, and New York, of course, and even Canada. Even now as we're speaking, the tape is on its way to Tokyo, and I've sent a tape to the United Kingdom.
So what goes into putting on a production like this? I mean, you do this, it's a program that comes on weekly. It must take an awful lot of time. It must take an awful lot of commitment. How do you get the energy? Where do you find the energy? Where does your cast find the energy?
Dedication. Everybody is so dedicated and so talented, and the scripts are so good. I mean, I have a talented team of writers and an extremely gifted crew. People just put it together. They see that it's a worthy idea, and they're just committed to the idea, and they're dedicated to a cause. And I think more than anything, I mean, we all go home exhausted, but we know that we're together on this idea.
Carrington, you write for the show. Talk about where you come up with the ideas for a lot of your characters, how you develop those characters.
Real life is a wonderful place from which to draw on fiction. And I believe that most of the characters in my storyline, which revolves around a television station and the various players that come and go in the public eye, has a little bit to do with my own life. I was a radio newscaster for 3 years, and that environment, I think, is very ripe for presenting the conflict between the personal and the professional. It's no coincidence that my lead storyline, which is Vicki St. Clair, the up-and-coming, quick-witted, and very difficult head newscaster for WLAM News, it's no coincidence that indeed she is a newscaster and that she has a lot of problems coping with personal versus professional. I believe I'm an observer of life and watch people closely and feel that Inside Outside the Beltway is an excellent forum to portray character, and it has so much richness, and that we are dealing not only with gays and lesbians and bisexuals, but also with straight reality, because indeed we are not an isolated community. We are one that interacts and interweaves with our straight brothers and sisters, and I think that's part of the beauty of the show.
Michelle, you've got a lot of problems in your character.
Vicki, yes.
Vicki has a lot of problems.
Despite the fact that people say I'm typecast, but I'm sure that's not true.
Let's talk about Vicki and her problems.
Yes,
explain your character.
I think Vicki's an example of a person who, if you don't live your life from your heart, things start going screwy in your life. And I think there's a lot of that going on. We don't know what her problem is until, we get to know her, but she's definitely an example of things not going right in her heart and things going really screwy in her life. She likes the pony. She likes to drink. She likes to beat up on the weaker sex, the male persuasion. And
Now, as a news reporter, from what I saw in the premiere here this evening, it indicated that you were at your best when you were ready to pounce, when somebody's in the chair and you're going after the jugular. Now, do you have experience as a reporter or a journalist? How does that come naturally for you?
well, I have worked in media. In fact, I worked on Gay Fairfax for 2 years as a co-anchor and an interviewer. And Vicki has an interesting combination of persuasion, charisma, and you really see her going for the jugular when behind the scenes. You don't see it on camera.
Now, is alcoholism loneliness? Because I think it's something that's apparent for someone who is extremely successful, as Vicki apparently is in the series. Are those problems of individuals who reach a certain amount of success and they don't want to share it with someone? Is that something you're working through as Vicki?
I think Vicki reaches for the bottle because she can't reach for anyone else. I mean, there's a real void in her personal life, and she fills it with excitement. She fills it with a racetrack. She fills it with, numbing herself out, drinking, and working really, really hard. You see her very successful, and she's good at what she does, but she's not well-rounded as a person, and you see her struggling with that.
Your character, like the show, has been developing since it started 3 years ago. When I first saw the show, you were dealing with coming out. How has Phil evolved over the past 3 years?
Well, he's actually at a point now where he's only semi-comfortable with being out. He still hasn't had what I like to call his first experience. This is the first time he's lived with gay male roommates, and so he actually is still being confronted with coming out, because as you'll see, I haven't actually come out to my parents yet. So we'll probably be dealing with that, but Phil is still like in what I call a transition period of coming out. He hasn't completely come out because he still isn't completely comfortable being gay.
Do you have any input as the actor as to the direction that Phil's character is going to move in as the show progresses?
Somewhat. I haven't had a lot of input this time around because Dennis and Jody, who's the writer for my storyline, have had definite directions they want Phil to go in. I, however, am kind of hoping that when the third season rolls along that things will get brighter, because Phil's life has been kind of hard.
So when you say brighter, do you mean that Phil gets laid or Phil gets a boyfriend?
I'm hoping for at least a boyfriend. That ought to be a start in the right direction. And just Phil to be a generally happier person. I mean, me, myself, I'm happy and comfortable with being gay. I'm hoping my Phil character will work up to that point, too.
We're very, very pleased that the mayor of our fair city has sent an envoy tonight, Steve Miller.
Steve, what significance do you think the mayor sending a representative to this premiere for Outside the Beltway shows as it relates to her commitment to the gay community, gay and lesbian community?
Well, Mayor Kelly has always been very out front and very supportive of the gay and lesbian community in Washington, D.C. She participated in a march on Washington. She believes in that one of the strengths of our city is its diversity and its vibrant gay and lesbian community. So she's very supportive and was honored to send me, and I'm honored to be here. Secondly, it's a film and it's a motion picture, and one of the big economic emphasis of the mayor's office is to promote the film industry, and this is the gay sector of the film industry is very important. More and more people in our city and our country are becoming more aware of the contributions of gay and lesbians and the role that they play, and this is a good way to sort of spread it.
Now, you saw the premiere here tonight of the first show for this season. What'd you think?
It was good. It was good. Better than most of the stuff that I see on TV. And one thing I noticed that there wasn't any violence and some of the stuff that you see a lot of. So it seemed like it was a very positive show.
Now, how important do you think a film such as this, as you call it, or a soap opera such as this, is in promoting positive images of gays and lesbians in what they deal with in day-to-day life. I mean, I think the straight community views the gay community as this sexual thing.
Sure. And
what you saw here tonight was not sexual at all.
It was just real people. And I think that's the message that has to be gotten out more and more. I mean, I think the larger community does not really understand gay and lesbian people except through the stereotypes, and this sort of film helps to sort of deal with that, and I think that's helpful.
Well, we're glad you came out.
Glad to be here. Wish them the best of success, and I hope it's a success. And I think it says also a lot because this video is being shot in Washington. It says a lot about our city. We have a lot to be proud of. We have a very rich and vibrant gay and lesbian community, and we're very proud of it. I'm proud to be a member of that community, and so I think it's significant that this is going to be airing across the country, and we probably, once again, Washington, D.C. is going to be on the map.
Now, you've got a couple of characters. You've got characters who we're dealing with coming out. Mm-hmm. You have an individual who is HIV positive.
Yes.
You deal with some real-life issues. Mm-hmm. Is it difficult to write for parts like that?
Very.
Do you get help from people who are in those positions?
You as a writer, you work from your own experience. You also go out and do research because you have to be honest to the ideas and to the people and to the characters that you're portraying. Otherwise, it just doesn't come across that way in the camera, because every false move is just blown up.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, Eric.